In my quest to find out what's new in the garden industry for 2012, I had the opportunity to fly to the Farwest Garden Trade Show in Portland, Oregon. There I met a company called Jeremie, a company that for many years has produced miniature and fairy garden items. With the trend coming full circle and just now getting new life, they are in the lead for getting us all excited and inspired to do miniature gardens. I had the opportunity to talk to Martha, who's going to share with us some tips on miniature gardens and tell us what Jeremie has for 2012.
Miniature gardens can be, the way I think about it, 4 ways. You can have a serious miniature garden planted in your yard. Pick out a corner or a little area within a garden that already exists and create a miniature garden. Now here I've made a little witch garden. This is my little witch, and this is a little witch that a friend made for me. And I have 2 ghouls here too. This is a little cemetery, and this little witch has gone here to clean up. There again, here's my limb with the Spanish moss hanging on it. We put a little bench in the garden, and I found these little ghostly plants here that I loved, and so I just put a little plant material in here. All gardens don't have to contain plant material, but it's fun to add some. That's the second kind of garden, a tablescape or a seasonal decoration. The third kind of garden is this. This is a living garden. These are all little succulents, and in this little tray, which is actually a tile to be used on a living roof, is a little garden fairy, Humie, and one of our little trellises, a bird bath, his little wheelbarrow and shovel and tools, and his little clay pots where he might transplant some of these little succulents. So there's a little ready-made garden. There's so many ways. As we started looking at miniatures, as when you start really looking at them, you're going to realize it's almost limitless, the things that you can do with the miniatures. Right here, which is actually a planted garden which will grow. This has a lot of fairies in it. This is a living garden that can go outside. We've got our turtle down here who has the holes cut in his back. We consider him a miniature garden. He's just an assortment of plants planted in there, but when you're planting plants in a miniature garden, you have to make sure that if you're going to have it indoors, you have to use indoor plants. If you're going to have it outdoors, you have to use outdoor plants. And outdoor plants, you have shade plants, you have plants that can take full sun, and you've got plants that can do a little bit of both. So when you pick your plants, make sure that you know that you're getting plants in a serious garden that are going to grow and complement each other. In this garden, we chose a bowl. It's nice and deep. In the bottom, we've got gravel, and we planted it with one of our little gates, some little columns. They've got your little tables, you've got your walk, and you've got your arbor, and a lot of different little living plants. In here we used 1, 2, 3 plants. And of course this will grow on up and grow onto the arbor. Now we've taken this little plant. If we're going to take it as a gift, we want to just do something, you want to add a little something special, put a little courting bench in it, and it just makes it fun. Here we've used a Christmas tree. We cut the limbs up, we made a little scene underneath it, and we covered it with all the little miniatures, some little nest with eggs, and it's just a simple little garden Christmas tree. This is one of the original gardens that we did. It's a garden in a box, and it's fun, it's bright, it's got some little mondo grass in it, 2 little benches, and you've got a little simple box garden there. We put the little gourd birdhouse just in a pot, nothing else, and just let that be its own little garden. That could sit on a table, it could be on a porch, almost anywhere you wanted to put it. I think this gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on with miniatures, and if you didn't know it before, I hope you know now that miniature gardening is serious, it's fanciful, it's fun, and it's what's going on right now. And we're, like I say, we're on the front end of the cusp of this, so you want to start doing it right now.
Thank you, Jeremie, for all those wonderful tips about miniature gardens. Now, I want to show you a few things that caught my eye and I put on my miniature garden, fairy garden wish list. They have so many different arbors. It's hard to choose, so why should we? We should have one of each. And then we had all the wonderful gates and the picks and oh, it's just amazing. I'm so inspired, and I hope you're inspired as well. So now let's sit back and take a little look at what else they have, and make sure and get your notepad out. You want to take some notes for your wish list.